Hi everyone, I'm Ann Valentino. I'm the EOS Product Line Manager for ETC. We're releasing software version 2.0. We have a couple of quick video clips after this to show you the highlights of using RDM and CEM3 and the redesign of those features, and also a quick video chapter on the use of magic sheets. And so now Steve Aldrich of our Orlando office is going to step you through RDM and CEM3.
Hi, my name is Steve Aldrich. Today I'm going to walk you through the device list feature of the EOS 2.0 software release. Okay, so prior to using device lists, we want to make sure in the shell we have enabled RDM feedback and sensor feedback. And you're going to do that by exiting out here and going to the shell. Before we begin, in the shell, under the Network tab, listed under Interface Protocols, make sure sensor feedback and RDM are checked. In the 2.0 software update, we've taken two different features of remote feedback, RDM and sensor feedback, and we combine them into a single feature that we call device list. To get to device list, I'm going to go into Patch, Displays, Soft Key Patch, and then you'll see that there is a soft key for device list. That will now show us our dimmers and our RDM. The first feature device list that we're going to talk about is RDM. RDM stands for Remote Device Management. This allows us to communicate directly with the lights over the DMX cable and get feedback on what they're doing, and also allows us to make changes remotely from the console. We're going to choose RDM, and then under Device Discovery, we're going to choose Enable. You'll see that the console has gone out and it's queried over the DMX cable, the fixtures that are connected to the console. What you're now seeing on the screen is a list of devices that are connected to the console. You'll see that the current address is there. We've given it a label, the manufacturer, the model. The footprint is how many DMX channels this fixture is requiring. And then the EOS type is actually taking the manufacturer listing of what the fixture is set to and mapping it to the EOS console so it can control the channels. You can use this to patch your fixtures. So let's take 21 and put it at channel 1. And you'll see that that's now patched. I'll go ahead and do the patch here real quick for our show. All right, let's return to the normal patch screen and take a look at that. This should be very familiar to you. I'll change the format and we can look at channels 1 through 6. You'll see there's a little caret located next to that. The caret is telling us that that is an RDM device and that the fixture is linked. Let's take a quick look here at channel 1. You'll see that channel 1 is a Studio Desire HD that is set to HSI mode plus 7 colors plus strobe. And suddenly 2 minutes before we go to air, we realize that this is set to the wrong mode and we need to set it to studio mode. I'm going to clear my command line. I'm going to choose device list. I'm then going to choose channel 1 from within my RDM device list. And you'll notice under my device properties here, I have a bunch of things that are listed with carets, and those are all cells that I can edit. I'm going to find the one that says DMX personality. I'm going to choose that, and I now see that one of my modes is Studio Strobe. And I'm going to set this one to Studio Strobe and hit OK. Now via RDM over the DMX cable, the console is going to tell the fixture that it should be in studio mode. It happened almost instantaneously, and you'll see that the fixture is now in studio mode, and I didn't have to get out a ladder to do that. We're now going to talk about the second feature of device lists, which is feedback from our power control systems. This works with our FDX dimmers, sensor plus dimmers, and sensor 3 dimmers. To get to that, we're going to go into our device list, and we're going to choose dimmers. So from this screen, you notice that we list all of the properties of our dimmer rack that is currently connected to the system. Now these have already been patched for us. So let's take a scenario. Imagine, if you will, you're in a Roadhouse theater, you're running to your dimmer rack every day, and sometimes you have moving lights connected to your system and sometimes you don't. You'll notice on channel 101, we have our through power module. This is a dimmer module that can be either a dimmer or a relay. And because this can be addressed over our network, we can go ahead and make the change right from any of the consoles that's currently connected. So let's go ahead into our CIA here, and we're going to find our control mode. You'll see that it's currently set to dimmable. We're going to select that, and we notice that one of our choices is switched. And we'll hit OK. Once we change this to switch mode, you'll notice it instantaneously changes on the dimmer rack, and that module is now updated to switch mode, or a relay, for the moving light that we're going to put on that circuit. All this feedback leads me to my favorite feature about this, and that's the ability to troubleshoot really easily. What you'll see here is channel 6, which is our source 4 dimmer, is already turned on at 30%. We're going to simulate a lamp blowing. So the lamp blows. So you'll see now that our lamp has blown, we have an indicator on channel 6 that shows us that we have an issue. We're going to go ahead and say about 6, enter. When we go into the screen, we see that there is the indicator located next to channel 6 there, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and you'll see that this is now telling us that we have a lamp error. This works with all kinds of different things. It doesn't just have to be dimmers, it can also be your moving lights. If you have a stuck flag or something, the moving light will send that information back to you. You get the indicator attached with the channel, and through the About screen you can get that information. Thank you for joining me for this brief introduction to our device list feature on the EOS console platform. We support many more things than we touched on here: recording presets, changing functions on your source 4 LEDs. We support many or all manufacturers that support RDM. Go out and play, have fun. Thank you very much.
And now we have Nick Gonsman of our New York office, who's going to tell you a little bit about Magic Sheets.
Hi, my name is Nick. I'm from ETC New York, and I'm here to show you a new feature in EOS 2.0 software called Magic Sheets. The Magic Sheets feature is a way for you to graphically lay out your data and view and interact with it in a multitude of ways. It's going to be useful for people all the way from professional theater down to entry-level theater. As you can see, Magic Sheets allow you to graphically lay out your live channel screen and interact with it in a multitude of ways. Moving around, zooming, accessing data, zooming back out are all very easy with multi-touch touchscreens. All these features are also accessible via mouse. Let's look at some of the things that allow Magic Sheets to be navigated. When using multi-touch touchscreens, you can use gestures like you're already comfortable using with a lot of your other electronic devices. So, using things like pinch, zoom, and pan all work. Double tapping with 2 fingers allows you to zoom to all of your content, and using 3 fingers tap allows you to go to your Magic Sheet Navigator, which allows you to quickly access all of your Magic Sheets. One of the great features of navigating in Magic Sheets is the Magic Sheet browser. Simply touch your navigation arrow to open up your pane and open up your Magic Sheet browser. On the bottom here, you get a list of all the Magic Sheets that you've created. Simply touch one to pop to that Magic Sheet view. The other thing that's accessible in your navigation window are multiple views of the same Magic Sheet. Simply zoom in, open, and add a view. Now you can navigate between views in your different Magic Sheets. Not only is navigating Magic Sheets easy, but creating them is easy as well. Simply use soft key Magic Sheet 1, enter. In the new space, you'll be able to open the side editor, which allows you to begin editing your Magic Sheets. There are a lot of tools and a variety of things that you can do in here. Let's check them out. Magic Sheets allow you to create graphical objects and ascribe different properties of the consoles to them. For example, if I have a few source 4s front of house, I can grab my fixture, drop it in, maybe make it bigger, maybe rotate it. And let's say I have a blue gel in this fixture. I can come into my property editor and change my background to blue. Maybe I want my channel size a little bit bigger. I can come in and change that font size to 20. And maybe I have 12 of these fixtures. Instead of creating individual objects, I can simply open up an array and drop in 12 wide with 20 spacing. Now, my front of house pipe is completely channeled, quickly and easily. Let's say I want to change my channel numbers for all these devices. Instead of going in and editing each one individually, there's a +1 tool. I can grab that, tell it that I want to start with channels, and I'm going to start my channels with 1. So, with this tool, I can simply repopulate those channels in numerical order, and just as simple as that, my front of house pipe is exactly how I wanted it. So creating conventionals on Magic Sheets is very easy. But Nick, what about moving lights? Magic Sheets has tools for that as well. I can come in, drop in another fixture, and not just change the physical properties of the object like color, line weight, and text, but I can ascribe certain live fields that will report back in a live channel setting. So, with the fixture that I've already patched, I can put in my focus, my color, and my beam, and change where they land. So, for example, I want all of these targets to show up below my fixture. With that complete, it now reports back the live status of that fixture in a live environment. Not only does Magic Sheets allow you to ascribe individual parameters and see the summary view of their live output, you can do some pretty neat things with color as well. For example, I can grab my object, and instead of having my background color be a specific color, I can link it to channel color. When I do that, and I go back out into live, it shows me what channel it's in. So I can grab channel 14, and now change it to green. I can see that that channel is indeed in green, and maybe find which channels aren't in the color that they're supposed to be. And because I love bars, let me show you another exciting feature in Magic Sheets, the intensity bar, which allows you to get a graphical representation of intensity next to your fixture. All you need to do is grab your fixture type and change one of your fields to intensity bar. Notice you get a little indicator next to your fixture. In live, this will move up and down based on where your intensity is. It also shows you the colors that you're used to seeing in live and gives you feedback on the status of that light. And it's not just channels. Magic Sheets allows you to create graphical objects so that you can lay out a space that fits your design style. For example, in my editor, I can drop in circles, squares, text, and lines to lay out a space that's representative of how I work. You can have those objects just be graphical, or you can tie them to interactive things in the console, such as macros, presets, cues, and zoom functionality of the board. So let's switch over to a Magic Sheet that I built not too long ago and take a look. I'll just open my Magic Sheet browser and pop on over. Magic Sheets allow you to choose your background. You can have either a solid color, a gradient, or you can import your own images and lay the objects on top of them. This is great if the scenic designer has given you a ground plan, or if you have Magic Sheets that you've already created offline. Here, I have some of my channels laid out. I have some graphical representations of my proscenium, as well as groups. I have focus palettes, beam palettes, and color palettes, as well as a second command line to see what my other programmer is doing. When I created this Magic Sheet, I wanted a simple way to view and interact with all of my moving lights in my rig. I have 5 moving lights front of house and 10 over stage. So I have my fixtures represented, but I also have groups, cyc selection groups, as well as focus palettes, edge and zoom palettes, gobos, and color palettes. So very quickly, I can grab my fixtures, throw them down stage left, zoom in on my image box, put them in a tribal breakup, clear my shutters, and finally, I'll drop them in a color palette. It's as simple as that. So as you can see, Magic Sheets has an infinite amount of possibilities that allow you to customize a space that fits your workflow. From a designer-centric Magic Sheet, to a production electrician, to a programmer. Magic Sheets allow you to create an environment that lets you work better. This Magic Sheet takes the rig and gives me a little bit more flexibility. I have buttons that allow me to go to presets. I can disable my timing to step through cues. I can go to a cue 0, and I have a lot of other face panel keys. This is really important if I'm not sitting in front of a desk. Maybe I'm at a processor or an RVI, and I need to interact with my stage. This Magic Sheet is a great example of a full rig. I have a lot of information here, but using zoom and views, I can go in and see exactly what I need to see. As an electrician, a typical live screen doesn't give me a whole lot of information about what my lights are doing and where they're located. In Magic Sheets, I can lay out all those fixtures and very quickly troubleshoot and assess problems. This is a comprehensive example of using Magic Sheets to duplicate a face panel. If I'm in my dimmer room and working on a processor without a face panel, I can come in and access all of my commands. And even better, I don't need a touchscreen. All of the features of Magic Sheets work with standard mouse gesturing. And one of the best features about Magic Sheets is that you can create a Magic Sheet that looks like your Magic Sheet. Designers can now use offline software to create the tools that they need to use in the theater, print them out, bring them with them, hand it to the programmer, and allow them to interact with the tools as needed. Assistant designers, programmers, electricians, everyone on the lighting staff now has their own portal into the data. As you can see from our brief time together, Magic Sheets is a pretty awesome feature. It's a simple tool set that has infinite possibilities. It can either help you with your current workflow or allow you to adapt. Everyone on the lighting team has tools now specific to how they work. I'm very excited about this tool, and I hope you are too. Go to etcconnect.com and download the offline editor and play with it. See what Magic Sheets can do for you. Reporting live, this is Gonsman. Back to you, Valentino.
Concurrent with 2.0, we've rewritten the manual, so there will not be a supplement with 2.0. So now you'll need to read the manual. There are also quite a few changes to some basic syntax. There are a lot of extensions to syntax, so you're going to want to make sure to read the release note to make sure that you know all of those small changes that have been integrated into 2.0.